Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission.
I recently was just reading your article. It was called Beth Moore left the SBC after the SBC left women to fend for themselves. Ouch, title. Did you come up with that yourself?
Oh, I don't write the titles. No,
Oh, you don't?
I don't even
Okay.
remember that was the title.
Well, I wanted to talk about women in ministry. And I know you had this great article, and this is what you read. I'm going to just read a wrote. This is a quick excerpt. It said, the church needs women who are seminary trained. The church needs women teaching in seminaries. The church needs women to minister to the world through academic appointments in secular institutions. The church needs women to serve in these ways, just as it needs women who are missionaries, mothers, teachers, servants, leaders, and friends. Women in the church don't need a room of their own as much as the church needs both women and men in the room. What were you getting at there? And tell me a little bit more about your heart for women in the ministry.
Well, this entire article and that passage in particular arises out of a very, of this moment American controversy within
Sure.
my own denomination. It's not really a global issue or a church universal issue that I'm speaking to. It's simply that because I belong to a denomination, the Southern Baptist Convention, that believes that men are to be pastors and men are the ones to preach the word. That's what we believe. And yet a lot of sort of extra applications have been being made about that in terms of what other things women can or cannot do. And so basically, what I'm trying to point out is that that women can do ministry in so many other ways, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
We are all supposed to be ministering or missionaries, to go back to our earlier part of our conversation. And so a lot of people use the term ministry in a very broad way, which I think it is a broad term. But when we talk about women in ministry, my initial response to a phrase like that is like, well, we're all supposed to be in ministry.
Sure. Yeah, it's a simple
And
question.
so,
really.
but then when people talk about, well, are they certain, there's some irony here too, because as I said earlier, I didn't see myself and resisted as a young Christian the idea of being in full-time ministry in that way that we use that, because the only two options I saw were being a pastor or pastor's wife or a missionary. And I've always seen myself as someone called to kind of the secular world, called to be a bridge between that world and the world of the church. And yet all of most of my adult life, I have spent serving, in Christian education, being paid by Christian ministries. And so as a professor, I'm in ministry. And so there are so many more ways that women can be in ministry. And yet we have so much division and debate over this one particular role. And because we have that debate about that, we're debating all these other things that are entirely not only legitimate, but necessary for women to do. So I was trying to speak into that.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission. This podcast is powered by Within Reach Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.